Welcome into the show, everyone. I'm your host, the Unhinged Father. Hope that your week's been going well. Hope you enjoyed the short that came out, just yesterday. We're going to go ahead and do a longer solo episode today. Not sure how long it's going to be, though. It has definitely been one shit show of a week. My son, the youngest one, is finally sleeping a little bit more. The teeth are finally popping all the way through, so I've been getting a little bit more rest. But, man, it's been a rough one. So trying to stay consistent, trying to make sure that I'm still putting out the 2 episodes a week, like I said that I would, not only to you, but to myself. So let's go ahead and jump in. This one's going to be a little bit more of a freestyle. Hope you enjoy it. For those of you that have been on this journey with me since kind of the beginning, listening to the podcast, or if you know me personally outside of the podcast, which pretty much all of you do, the last year or so, 2 years, I've been really trying to do more work on myself and trying to do a lot of those things that, all those gurus on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, all those rich assholes that you see that just tell you what to do, say that this is going to change your life. This one simple thing is going to make all the difference in the world. Start doing it. I've really been taking on those things that they're doing. Cold plunging, recently started doing more of like sauna, practicing mindfulness, exercise, reading, journaling, having this creative outlet. There's a lot of different things that I've been doing that have been kind of focused on me and making me the best person I can be. And, I guess I just wanted to touch on how things are going so far on that. How have I been progressing and what have been the impacts on me? Have I seen any changes? This episode is going to be focused on like, how is it going? Have these things changed your life? Are you magically better than you were before? And the answer is yes. I'm doing fucking great. Since I've started doing this, I've grown a third eye on my forehead. I have Himalayan salt crystal candles all around my house and crystals hanging from the ceiling. I have alleviated all inflammation in my body. I've reached a state of enlightenment and my chakra is aligned with the universe. Yeah, none of that shit has happened. None of that is going on. My life is still somewhat of a shit show, like it's been pretty much my entire life. There's still issues that pop up. My body still hurts. My mind still wanders. I get distracted. I don't do stuff. I procrastinate. I say the wrong things. I'm abrasive. I could be a dick. All of these things still happen. Yet I'm still kind of trying to stay on track with all of these different methods that people propose will fix your life, make your life so much better. It's like an instant fix. And I think that's really where I may differ from some of the other people that do these things. I've even seen a couple of people that, I know more like on a personal level, or I've known them before in the past, and they'll start doing some of these things and they basically say like, I have no stress or anxiety or no more inflammation in my body. And like everything's perfect because I do this thing. I do a cold plunge and it just takes everything away. Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I don't know what it's like to be in their body, what their experience is. But for me, it's not a fucking miracle pill. It's not going to take away all the problems of your world. It's not something that, you jump in a cold plunge for 5 minutes at the beginning of the day and your day is just going to be absolutely perfect. Nothing can fuck that up. Things will always go wrong in your life. That's what life is. Life is constantly throwing shit in your way, and it's your job to kind of navigate through and figure it out and have the best life that you can. And some days are going to be just amazing. Some days are going to be complete shit. You're not always going to feel good. Sometimes you're going to be sick. Sometimes your body's going to be inflamed. You're going to fucking, run down the street or do some silly dance with your kid and pull a hammy or throw your back out. These are all things that can happen. And it doesn't matter what steps you're doing, what new trend you're trying, what diet you're on, if you're in ketosis. It doesn't matter if you do all that stuff. Like, life is still going to throw shit in your way. You're going to feel shitty and it's going to be hard. And that's my speech to you today, basically, is just give up. Life's hard. Throw in the towel. It doesn't matter. No, of course, that's not my message today. I know that it sounds like super negative, and I think that's just because I'm constantly seeing like this toxic positivity, and I hate like anything that's labeled as like, toxic masculinity or toxic femininity or toxic positivity. But I mean, I know what they're talking about. You see these posts on Instagram and they're listening. I know they're listening because I'll think about the cold plunge, and then all of a sudden I've got 45 ads from influencers on like, just come jump in this cold pot and since I've been doing it, my life's great. I've lost 75 pounds. I'm super ripped. My wife and I are off of the brink of divorce. My kids are all going to Harvard, and, I basically shit gold now. And when I see all of that, it pushes me away from it. It makes me cautious of these different things that I've talked about, these different steps you can take in your lives to potentially make things better. And for me, I want to try and give a perspective on how these things could be beneficial, but that they're not like I said, they're not a miracle pill. They're not going to solve all of your problems. They haven't solved all of my problems, but I do know that they have been helping in certain ways since I've been doing the cold plunge and then coupling that with the sauna at the gym after I'm done working out. I've definitely noticed that my body is less sore, less pain. My back still hurts, but that's just because I'm a dad. I'm 36 years old. I'm just going to have back pain. I feel like I'm trying to work that out with stretching. The smaller pains, the ones in the shoulders or the elbows and things like that, just these small little pains that I would have and inflammation I would have. Yeah, I noticed those have been going away, that they haven't been as pronounced as they were previously. And I think that the cold plunge and the sauna are both helping with that. Doesn't mean that they change everything. Doesn't mean that my body am in perfect health and just nothing hurts anymore. But am I going to let perfect get in the way of the good, of the better, of trying to progress? No, I'm not going to. Same thing with exercise, mindfulness, reading, journaling. All of these things have been beneficial. I can sense that there's more mental clarity within my life and that I'm able to see things more clearly from different perspectives. And I've definitely grown immensely as a person, especially emotionally and intellectually. But I'm in no way perfect. I still get pissed off at my kids. I still lose my temper. I'm still not super communicative with my wife in a lot of aspects. And I still haven't really grown in other ways where I'm reaching back out to friends and having a life outside of the family. And I know that those are all things that are super important to me, but I haven't gotten there yet. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop doing the reading, the journaling, or even like having this creative outlet. Just because it's not a magic pill, just because it's not creating this perfect life for me, just because it's not fixing all of my problems, doesn't mean that it's not beneficial. If you're anything like me, you're given this false pretense and all of these inflated promises, and then it doesn't work out the way that you think that it is. You kind of become disenfranchised with whatever it is that you were sold, and it loses some of its luster, not because it is any different, but it's just because your expectation was so high. And when it doesn't meet that expectation, you're almost like, well, fuck this. It's not worth it. And you're not looking at the potential benefits that it's having in your life, even if it's not reaching up to this top tier, this perfect level that you have set within your mind, because that's what you were told when you were learning about it or when someone had talked to you about it. And what's the point of all of this, right? I guess I'm just sitting here talking about myself, and it's good to kind of get all of this information out, have it become, physically manifested through my words into the universe. But at the end of the day, is that a lot of this stuff I really do enjoy, and I do think that it is helping me and it's making me a better person. And I would just hate for someone else out there, if you're listening to this podcast and you are also working on yourself, you're trying to get better, trying to be a better person. If you're someone who's trying to find little things within your life to make it better, to make it smoother, to get rid of pain, to help your mental health, I would hate for you to throw all of these tools away because you are disgruntled or disenfranchised with the message that you learned about it through. So coming from me, someone who's maybe, probably a couple steps behind you in certain aspects, but, maybe on this trail is a couple steps ahead of you. I'm not up at the top. I'm not a yogi. I have not reached a state of enlightenment, and my body still hurts. I'm still tired, but I'm someone who is working on myself. I just want you to hear from me that these things are helpful. And if you want to try them out, go in knowing that it's not going to cure all of your ailments. It's not going to cure all the problems in your life, but it's a small step forward in making things better. And who knows, maybe I'm too early on in this journey. Maybe eventually I'll get to where some of these asshole Instagram influencer yogi son of a bitches are, and I'll have no inflammation in my body, and I really will grow that fucking third eye in the middle of my forehead. And, I'll start talking to you about chakras and mantras and all the other tas that are out there. I'll start culturally appropriating some of the words from some of the Eastern cultures. But until then, I'm going to continue down this path that I'm currently on. I'm going to continue trying to do the best that I can. I'm going to continue doing the cold plunges, the saunas, stretching, practicing mindfulness, trying to learn about why I do the things that I do. Why is it that I can be abrasive? What things happened in my past that created the personality that you see now today? Definitely going to continue to exercise. That's been something, been going strong still with that morning exercise, like I let you all know last week. And it's definitely getting easier and easier. And I sense less pain actually in my muscles and in my joints when I do it in the morning. Because the first couple of times I did it, man, I couldn't really do a full push-up because my shoulder would just hurt so bad because it was so early. My muscles weren't warmed up. I'm not sure if I'm strengthening tendons or just getting more used to it or what it is, but it's become easier to do it in the morning. And I have been noticing a change in my body composition as well. And that could be due to a couple things: trying to eat a little bit healthier, trying to eat less of the processed sugars and all that good stuff. And then also I've been on my exercise regimen now for, going to the gym for a couple of months. And so maybe I'm just getting back into that. But I do see a benefit in that morning exercise. Stretching, journaling has been helpful as well. It's not like giving this total mental clarity, but I think that it's good to be able to go back, and I reread some of my old journal entries, and it's just interesting to see where I was at and remember where I was at certain points within my life. Also to be able to just like get things down on paper. So going to continue doing that. And then this creative outlet, I guess I just like to hear myself talk, which I'm sure my wife would say that as well. And then, the last one I'll talk about briefly is reading. And I become a very avid reader, and I enjoy reading different types of books. It's not all self-help. Usually we'll throw some sort of like historical novels in there, or even fiction novels as well. And maybe I'll go back and actually read the Harry Potter novels, since I just audibled them the first time. And my wife, she's reading some fiction novels. Maybe I'll go and read some of the sci-fi romance novels that she's all about right now. So that way we have something else to talk about, something else that kind of connects us, and we can have a conversation that doesn't involve the kids or finances or other things like that. But I love reading, and I enjoy doing it. It's definitely a release. Instead of sitting down and watching TV, now when I do like cardio on the elliptical or bike, I'll bring a book and I'll read a book. It's therapeutic. Hopefully helping my mind to expand and exercising my mind as well as just my body, that I'm not just sitting there and mindlessly scrolling through Instagram or watching YouTube videos or even just like watching old movies, that I'm actually engaging my mind and my body at the same time, I think is something that's been good for me. So that's where I'm at. That's how things have been going. Wanted to get something out today, but I've just been this week I've just been so tired, and it's been hard for me to come up with something to talk about or a subject. And so I just figured I'd talk about state of the state, where I'm at, how these things have been working for me. I just wanted to send that message out there of don't get discouraged. If you're doing these things, or you're doing different things, you're doing things that are good for you and you're trying to become better, there's going to be potholes along the way. There's going to be setbacks. You're going to take a couple steps back. You're going to fall off the wagon once in a while. That's all very normal. It's like I always tell my son though, you're going to fall off, you're going to fall down, but what's the most important thing? And it's getting back up and getting back on the bike, or getting back up and getting back on the horse. That's really all that you can control. I'm just here to encourage you to continue working on yourself. Try to become the best person that you can, whether you're a dad, a mom, a brother, a sister, a grandchild, like whatever it is, whatever you identify with in your life, whatever connections you have, whatever you are to someone else, try to make that the best version that you can. Don't let perfect get in the way of good, and don't let those shithead, perfectly, airbrushed and fucking filtered Instagram models or Facebook models or whoever's out there. Don't let them discourage you from doing what you need to do to make your life better. It's not going to be what they say it is. It's not going to be a fucking miracle drug that changes your life completely. It's not Ozempic. It's not any of this shit. It's just you working on you. It's going to be hard, but you can do it. I got faith in you. Now I just need to get some faith in myself and need to figure out how to get one of those third eyes because I kind of need one of those. Not in the middle of my forehead, though, just in the back of my head for my kids. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. A little bit more of a freestyle episode here today. Hope that you enjoyed it. As always, if you enjoyed the podcast, feel free to give me a follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you feel so inclined, feel free to give me a 5-star review. It will help out in some way, shape, or form, I'm sure, in the future. And if you enjoyed this episode or if you enjoy any of the other episodes, I encourage you to share with a friend, a family member, anyone that you think may enjoy the podcast or enjoy some of the content here. Feel free to check me out on Instagram at the Unhinged Father. And there's also a website that's got a small blog in there, trying to get a little bit more of the writing side in as well. All of these links can be found in the show notes or on the Instagram page. There's a link tree. So other than that, I hope that you all have a fantastic weekend. And as always, be good, try hard, do your best.